I don't want to discuss here because I really do want to focus on Special Forces. But you can watch Sister Wives Sunday.
I think that she saw where I was going, and the fact that it's almost something I need. We're gonna have to talk about this, and she's like, "No, I've already lost you to this. I'm not going to stop this from happening." That she just, I said, we're going to have to talk about childbirth, so I know how tough she is, because she had children without a whimper.
Welcome back to Behind TLC Sister Wives. Tonight, we lift the curtain off of one of the biggest scandals in TLC reality history. Kody Brown, who once represented family harmony and plural marriage, now lies exposed in a manner he never could have dreamed. With Christine gone, Meri out, Janelle tired, and Robyn holding on tighter than ever, the Brown family isn't only broken, it's disintegrating before millions of people. But what if I told you that the ultimate twist isn't all about Kody's wives, but about lawsuits, betrayals, and financial hell that could pull the family further into the depths of madness? That's right. Christine and Kody's daughter Isabel has been sucked into a $225,000 legal whirlwind, and the repercussions could shred everything that Kody has left. This is no longer family drama, this is courtroom drama, secrets off camera, and wounds that will never heal. When most celebrities hit a milestone season, they bask in the glory. They hug fans. They celebrate their journey. But when Sister Wives Kody Brown was queried about achieving season 20 of the show, what did he do? He dodged. He deflected. And he shifted the focus away from thankfulness and directly back to himself. Rather than thanking his wives, his children, or even the viewers who brought him fame, Kody opted to fawn over TLC. Again and again, he insisted that the network gave him a platform and shared his story. But viewers weren't fooled. Why? Because Kody's words betrayed a greater truth. He is not thankful for the family that gave up their anonymity, he's thankful for the money. Each sentence betrays his fixation on fame and popularity. The same Kody who blamed Christine for betrayal, for leaving is now holding on by his fingernails to the show itself, like his self-worth is at stake. And in a very real sense, it is. Without TLC, Kody isn't a patriarch. He isn't a celebrity. He's just a guy whose family dissolved because of his own decisions. And then there's the surprise Kody never saw coming, a lawsuit with the name of his daughter at its center. Christine and Kody's daughter Isabel, fan favorite for being such a strong and resilient kid in surviving scoliosis surgery and surviving her parents' messy divorce, is suddenly in the middle of a legal ordeal costing over $225,000. The facts of this case have left fans reeling. Questions abound. How did this occur? Is this a financial cost for Kody's failed leadership? Did Christine's exit and financial division between the wives create a chain effect? Or is this again a case of the Brown family being unable to keep love, money, and fame separate? What we do know is this: Isabel should be concerned with her future, her education, and healing. Rather, she's being pulled into the same turmoil that consumed her parents. And fans are outraged. Many are accusing Kody of leaving his daughter when she needed him the most. But this is where the story gets richer. This lawsuit isn't all about dollars, it's about betrayal. Christine, who struggled tooth and nail to defend her children against Kody's neglect, now watches her daughter reaping the consequences of choices she had no say in. Viewers recall the devastating moments, Isabel crying, pleading with Kody to accompany her to surgery, then learning that his other commitments take precedence. That was the start of the end for Christine. And now, with this lawsuit, it seems like déjà vu all over again, Kody missing, Christine shouldering the burden, and Isabel stuck in the middle of a storm she didn't start. So here's the question that I want to pose to you, the fans: is this lawsuit the ultimate evidence that Kody Brown has failed not only as a husband, but as a father? Or can Christine and Isabel weather this storm like they always have? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read all of them and your voice matters here on Behind TLC Sister Wives. When the lawsuit made headlines, fans were not believing their eyes. Christine and Kody's daughter Isabel, the very same young woman who had become an icon of strength in her fight against scoliosis, was instantly embroiled in a whopping $225,000 legal fiasco. For a family who always preached living debt-free and staying together, this suit was not only a monetary issue. It was a crushing blow to the Brown family's already wobbly reputation. Initially, it was believed to be a mistake by some of the fans. Certainly, Christine would not allow her daughter to get involved in something this huge. But the story took a darker turn as facts came out. This was not just a matter of unpaid bills. It involved trust, agreements, and even fingers being pointed behind closed doors by family members. And here's the question asked by fans: did Kody know this was on the cards? And if he did, why didn't he intervene to protect his daughter from the repercussions? And what type of father does allow his child to become the face of a financial crisis while he cowers behind TLC cameras? Christine, never one to remain quiet when her children are threatened, has made it clear she will do whatever it takes to save Isabel. Fans have long looked up to Christine for her fierce independence and her willingness to speak truth to Kody when the rest of the wives remained silent. And this lawsuit only lit that fire. Christine recognizes this for what it is, a symptom of Kody's abandonment. He wasn't present when Isabel pleaded with her father for his backing during surgery, and now he's not here when her name is being dragged through the courts. For Christine, this isn't about money, it's about dignity. It's about teaching her daughter that no matter what Kody does or doesn't do, she will always stand by her. And fans are standing behind her. On social media, comments pour in glorifying Christine as the real defender of her children. Memes go around declaring her the real MVP of Sister Wives. And for once, Christine is not merely scraping by, she's thriving, leveraging her pain into power. But here's the twist. For years, Meri and Christine have had a tense relationship, defined by jealousy, bitterness, and passive anger. Meri never forgave Christine for speaking her mind, and Christine never forgave Meri for remaining loyal to Kody during difficult times. Now, with Isabel's lawsuit in the spotlight, fans are guessing, who will Meri stand with? Will she stand with Christine, knowing the kids are innocent in this debacle? Or will she, once more, stand with Kody and Robyn, demonstrating allegiance to the man who left her emotionally years ago? Some sources say Meri has expressed anger behind the scenes, suggesting that Christine did this to herself by leaving the marriage and bringing the family into disarray. That would be a betrayal viewers won't soon forget if true. Because at the end of the day, whatever history Meri and Christine have, Isabel is family. And then there's Robyn, the so-called favorite wife. The woman Kody defends on every front while ignoring the others. In times of crisis, Robyn tends to have a lot to say, but on this lawsuit? Nothing. Her silence has only fueled rumor. Is the lawsuit Christine's issue to Robyn now that she's out of the marriage? Worse, might she be telling Kody to get out of there, to safeguard their own financial futures while Isabel suffocates beneath an avalanche of legal problems? The utter silence is deafening, and fans are outraged. To them, Robyn's not just dodging accountability. She's facilitator of Kody's abandonment. And with each passing second she keeps quiet, she solidifies her position as the woman who dismantled the family piece by piece. With Christine fighting, Meri faltering, and Robyn stepping back into silence, the Brown family is more divided than ever. And at the forefront of it all is Isabel, a daughter who never asked for this stage, a young woman who was entitled to be protected but instead was left in the lurch. This lawsuit is not just figures on a page. It's a representation of all that is wrong with the Brown family: shattered trust, fiscal irresponsibility, emotional abandonment, and a father who still won't own up. And they know it. That's why the comment boards on each Sister Wives update are full of one scorching question: how much longer can Kody Brown keep hiding behind TLC before his whole world comes crashing in on him? Now I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you think Christine will be able to shield Isabel from this lawsuit debacle? Or will Kody's silence and Robyn's power leave her to stand alone? Let me know your thoughts down below. Your comments keep this conversation alive and give voice to the millions of fans who see through the Brown family's facade. For years, Christine and Meri have lived in the shadow of their mutual resentment. The feud between them didn't just appear overnight. It simmered slowly, born from jealousy, favoritism, and Kody's inability to balance his wife's needs. Christine always felt overshadowed by Meri's position as the legal wife, while Meri resented Christine's outspoken nature and her ability to rally the children behind her. But now, with Isabel's lawsuit consuming headlines, those old wounds are splitting wide open. Christine, who has long positioned herself as the protector of her children, is furious that Meri isn't stepping forward in solidarity. For Christine, this isn't about their personal feud anymore, it's about family. Yet, in Meri's eyes, Christine has chosen her path. By leaving Kody, by choosing David, and by publicly celebrating her independence, Meri believes Christine forfeited the right to lean on family support. Fans have noticed this tension too. Every cryptic Instagram post Meri makes about self-care or protecting your peace feels like a thinly veiled jab at Christine. And while Meri's followers praise her for her resilience, many can't help but ask, why can't she show that same grace toward Isabel? As more court documents surface, the weight of the lawsuit becomes undeniable. The $225,000 sum isn't arbitrary, it's connected to contracts, obligations, and late bills that have gotten out of hand. Word in the know is that this is a product of years of financial mismanagement among the Brown clan, where Kody would have several money burdens while pursuing new ventures that never panned out. Christine, determined to protect Isabel from the consequences, has been working behind the scenes with attorneys, friends, and financial advisors. But here's the twist: the further she probes, the more she believes that this mess wasn't as much of an accident as she'd thought. Was Isabel's name put on documents that she didn't fully comprehend? Was she stuck bearing a weight that rightly belonged to someone else, perhaps even Kody himself? If that is indeed true, this isn't a lawsuit. It's betrayal. And it could be one of the most explosive courtroom battles the Brown family has ever seen. In the meantime, Kody remains in his own little bubble. Christine is battling tooth and nail to keep Isabel safe, and Kody is over here parading around doing interviews, promoting TLC, and blaming everyone but himself. His hypocrisy is astounding. This is the same guy who previously preached about being the head of the family, of protecting and providing for all his kids. But when one of his daughters is buried beneath legal duress, he's nowhere to be found. Instead, he fingers the blame, claiming behindhand that Christine took Isabel away when she left the marriage. But fans aren't swallowing it. To them, it's easy. A true father doesn't leave his daughter at her darkest hour. A true father moves in, takes the heat and the blame. Kody's failure to do so merely made viewers angrier who already perceived him as selfish and aloof. And the hypocrisy does not end there. Remember when Kody complained about Christine and David moving on, saying she was breaking up the family? Now, when his own behavior is being put on trial, he says everyone needs to respect his privacy. Classic Kody rules for all others, but not for him. The Sister Wives fan base isn't being quiet. Twitter threads, TikTok videos, and Reddit groups are full of hot opinions on the lawsuit. Hashtags #Justice for Isabel and #Kody the Coward have begun trending on fan platforms. Fans are calling for accountability, not only for Kody but also for TLC. Why continue to give this man a platform? Asked one fan in a tweet. He left his daughter alone when she required surgery, and now he's leaving her alone in court. Others highlight how Christine's resilience has become the core of the family's narrative. While Kody vacillates, while Robyn keeps her counsel, while Meri plays victim, Christine battles. And that battle is precisely why fans are cheering for her like never before. And that's where the emotional stakes get even higher. The other Brown kids are watching. Isabel's siblings, several of whom already bear resentment toward Kody, are witnessing up close where their father's loyalties lie. Garrison, Gabriel, and even Michael T have touched on their disappointment with Kody's decisions before. This lawsuit could be the last straw. Picture being one of Kody's children, seeing headlines on your phone about your sister owing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and knowing that your dad hasn't done anything to assist. Betrayal like that doesn't disappear. It solidifies the hardening of hearts. It leaves permanent scarring. And the fans realize this as well. They've watched the cracks in the family grow season by season. With Isabel's lawsuit, those cracks could turn into irreparable chasms. Do you think Kody will ever man up and own Isabel's lawsuit? Or has his hypocrisy cemented his position as the villain of Sister Wives for all eternity? Let us know your thoughts below. Because this is not just a one-lawsuit conversation. It's about responsibility, family, and the truth at last emerging. Robyn Brown has ever been the quiet storm of the Sister Wives franchise. On the outside, she's the demure peacemaker, the one who just wants everyone to get along. But fans have long guessed that her silence is a carefully constructed facade, one that hides how much power she really holds in the background. Now, however, as Isabel's $225,000 suit drags the family name into the spotlight, Robyn's silence is deafening. She has made zero public statements. No words of support for Christine. No empathy for Isabel. Nothing but thoughtfully composed Instagram posts regarding motherhood, gratitude, and general mentions of keeping your circle small. But this is where things take a turn for the dark. Several insiders indicate that Robyn might just know exactly where this suit came from. She and Kody, after all, were the ones most heavily involved in the family's financial affairs in the later years. Robyn's name has surfaced on LLC records, real estate transactions, and even dodgy online business schemes. Might Isabel's legal ordeal be linked to actions Robyn and Kody took years ago, actions Isabel might not have even been aware of? If so, Robyn's silence isn't cowardice. It's tact. By keeping quiet, she protects herself from self-incrimination and lets Christine bear the emotional burden of standing up for her daughter. Christine Brown has never been afraid of a fight, particularly when it comes to defending her children. Fans will never forget the tragic saga of Isabel's scoliosis surgery. When Christine left her daughter with her across the country while Kody remained behind, invoking COVID safety. That rejection damaged not only Isabel, but Christine as well. This time, Christine will not let Isabel weather the storm without her. She's hired the best lawyers to sift through every aspect of the case. She's relied on David Woolley, her new husband, who has become her emotional support and a reliable decision-making partner. They're doing it together, building a plan that's not only designed to resolve the lawsuit, but to shed light on how Isabel was ever brought into it in the first place. Christine's resolve is all too clear. She's not simply fighting for her daughter. She's issuing a warning. The days when Kody and Robyn dictated everything behind the scenes are done. Make no mistake, this lawsuit is not merely about finances. It's about legacy, loyalty, and justice. If it goes to trial, the courtroom might provide the backdrop for one of the most dramatic showdowns in Sister Wives history. Picture it, Christine on one side of the aisle, passionately fighting for Isabel, her attorneys wielding receipts, contracts, and timelines. On the other hand, Kody and Robyn racing to deflect blame, protect themselves, and keep the ugliest truths from being filmed by the TLC cameras. And then Meri and Janelle, the wild cards. Will they take the stand? Will they clam up? Or will they finally stand up, even if that means taking sides in the family's final civil war? Fans are already abuzz with rumors. They suspect TLC may even try to shoot portions of the proceedings for the show, making TV famous out of genuine heartbreak. Others worry the lawsuit will get the network cold feet, fearing airing too much could get the brand dirty. Either way, the stakes are huge. Inside, Kody is said to be furious. Not only with Christine, but also with TLC. He feels betrayed, believing that the network has turned its affections toward Christine because her storyline wins more sympathy and viewers. Robyn is reported to be telling him to keep quiet and concentrate on the family they still have. But this is the thing. Damage control becomes virtually impossible when the truth is seeping out through court documents. Unlike reality television, lawsuits are not concerned with spin. They're about evidence. They're about accountability. And that's something Kody has avoided for decades. This suit has the potential to upend not only his public persona, but his financial security. If Isabel prevails, or if Christine's lawyers find evidence that Kody or Robyn have mishandled funds, it has the potential to trigger a barrage of lawsuits, audits, and public examination that the Browns just aren't ready for. Each passing day without action is another day the bomb ticks louder. Fans are crying out for answers. Christine is sharpening her knives. Kody and Robyn are hiding in silence. And Isabel, caught up in the crosshairs, bears the stifling burden of a debt no young woman should ever have to bear. This lawsuit is not going away. It's just building. And when it blows up in court, on the news, or even on Sister Wives itself, it may be the ultimate downfall of the Brown family dynasty. If this ends up going to trial, whose team do you think Janelle and Meri will be on? Will they support Christine and Isabel or remain loyal to Kody and Robyn? Let me know in the comments. Because this choice could make all the difference in whether the Brown family breaks apart completely, or if there's still hope for unity. Janelle Brown has always been underestimated. She's level-headed, practical, and frequently the voice of reason between Christine, Meri, and Robyn's drama. But beneath her calm demeanor is a woman who intimately understands how Kody works, and isn't afraid to silently call him out when necessary. As Isabel's $225,000 lawsuit devolves into full-blown crisis, Janelle is at a fork in the road. On the one hand, she remains loyal to the family she once banded together to keep intact. Meanwhile, on the other side, she can't deny the unfairness Isabel is experiencing, or Kody and Robyn's potential role in making this situation. Sources say that Janelle has been in constant contact with Christine since the lawsuit came forward. She's not yelling on Twitter, she's not doing interviews. But she's giving Christine something even more priceless: emotional support, financial tips, and her keen observant eye that sees details others do not. And don't think for a moment, Janelle's no stranger to numbers. She was the keeper of family finances, budgets, and taxes for years. If Christine is intent on revealing under-the-table dealings attached to Kody and Robyn, Janelle might just be the one witness who has visibility on where all that money went. If Janelle turns and goes public with Christine and Isabel, it will not only be a betrayal. It will be the ultimate act of justice. And then there's Meri Brown, the first wife. The one who has had decades of heartbreak, humiliation, and disregard. Fans often describe her as checked out, and it's true, Meri has distanced herself from much of the Brown family drama in recent years. But silence doesn't always mean indifference. Meri's decision to remain quiet about Isabel's lawsuit has sparked debate among fans. Some argue that she's simply exhausted, too tired of the endless cycle of Kody's betrayals and Robyn's manipulation to get involved. Others believe Meri is biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment to speak her truth. Imagine the impact if Meri broke her silence in court. Imagine her taking the stand and revealing what she knows about the financial deals Kody and Robyn orchestrated. Imagine her saying, under oath, what fans have suspected for years, that Robyn's innocent act has always been part of a bigger plan to control the family's assets. Meri may be quiet now, but if she decides to step into the spotlight, her testimony could shake the foundation of this lawsuit and Kody's entire defense strategy. Behind the drama, there's another player fans often forget: TLC. The network which made the Browns famous household names now has to deal with a legal and ethical minefield. On the one hand, the lawsuit is ratings gold. Audiences can't get enough of the on-the-line stakes, the court documents, the rumors of betrayal. On the other hand, TLC has a brand to preserve. Airing too much of the legal chaos could backfire. painting the network as exploitative, or worse. Entangling it in the lawsuit itself, rumors suggest TLC executives are already crafting a storyline around Isabel's lawsuit for the upcoming season. Leaks indicate they've filmed confessionals with Christine, Janelle, and even Robyn, though sources say Robyn's footage was heavily edited to soften her image. But here's the twist: TLC is also secretly talking to lawyers to figure out what can and can't be broadcast. If court papers involve Kody or Robyn in financial improprieties, the network can't help but bail out. That could mean reducing their visibility, or even relocating the show's focus entirely to Christine, Janelle, and their kids. It's a risky balancing act. One misstep, and TLC might lose the very viewers it struggled to create. The lawsuit has done more than jeopardize money, it's broken what little harmony was left between the Browns. Christine and Janelle are steadfast on one side, united by allegiance to their kids. Kody and Robyn sit together on the other, guarded and alone. And Meri? She floats somewhere in between, trapped in the gray area of silence. What's left of the Brown family dream is disintegrating before our eyes. The lawsuits, the betrayals, the failed marriages, all of it points to one terrifying conclusion: this isn't just TV drama anymore. This is the demise of a family empire, playing out in real time. Each new filing, each social media update, every leak to the press. It all pushes the Browns closer to a point of no return. Fans who once tuned in to watch a quirky polygamous family navigate life's challenges are now watching a courtroom saga that could end with financial ruin, fractured loyalties, and permanent scars for the children caught in the middle. And at the heart of it all, Isabel. A young woman who never chose to be in the limelight, who never wished to have the weight of a lawsuit, but one who now finds herself struggling to defend her name, her future, and maybe justice for every betrayal the Browns have attempted to hide. Do you believe TLC should dramatize the lawsuit action, or should they keep it behind the scenes and leave it to the Browns to settle privately? Leave your thoughts in the comments. This might be the most controversial choice in the history of the show. The courtroom was stunned as Isabel Brown approached the witness stand. For years, viewers saw her grow up on Sister Wives, a sweet, quiet girl overshadowed by the drama of her parents' relationship. But this wasn't the Isabel that viewers knew. This was a woman reshaped by pain, deception, and resolve. Her voice shook initially, but grew stronger soon as she informed the court of her ordeal, the medical abandonment she felt when her father declined to be present during her scoliosis operation, the financial duress she endured as a student, and the emotional burden of being caught in the middle of warring parents. But the biggest bombshell was when Isabel produced documents purportedly connecting her medical bills, some of them unpaid, to overall family financial malfeasance. Fans in attendance gasped. Message boards blazed. Suddenly, this was not just about a $225,000 lawsuit. It was about whether Kody and Robyn had knowingly placed their own family finances ahead of Christine's kids' needs. At that moment, Isabel was more than just Christine and Kody's daughter. She was a testament to all the Brown children who had felt left behind in the crossfire of their parents' choices. If Isabel's testimony rattled the courtroom, Christine's was an earthquake flat. Serene but passionate, Christine relayed years of exasperation, the family's so-called unity fund, unequal money distributions, and favoritism shown by Kody toward Robyn's kids. She produced receipts. Literally. Screenshots of texts. Copies of agreements. Bank statements she said showed a disturbing trend, funds being directed into Robyn's home, while Christine's children struggled. Christine didn't simply accuse Kody of neglect. She accused him of betrayal. Of forsaking his role as a father for the sake of creating an empire with Robyn. Isabel was suffering, and she was ignored, Christine testified. Her father could have assisted. But he didn't. And there are consequences to such decisions. Audiences watching scenes from the courthouse referred to Christine as the lioness finally roaring. She had spent years trying to maintain harmony. But this was Christine let loose, and she wasn't holding anything back. Kody Brown, the once confident matriarch who presided over a plural family into mainstream TV stardom, appeared cornered. His lawyers rushed to portray him as a misunderstood patriarch, a man pulled thin by several wives and scores of children. Kody claimed that he did love Isabel but was financially unable to pay every medical expense. He maintained that Christine was overstating the neglect. And he accused the lawsuit of being a smear campaign, fueled by angry ex-wives who wanted to ruin his reputation. But his defense did not hold up when questioned about luxury vehicles, high-end jewelry, and alleged extravagant spending in Robyn's home. How could a man claim financial struggle when he was caught on camera driving luxury cars and residing in a mansion? Courtroom pundits pointed out that Kody's anger was both his best asset and worst liability. His hot-tempered explosions earned sympathy from some who observed a father under attack. But to others, his finger-pointing and defensiveness just proved what Christine and Isabel had accused him of, that he was more concerned about his pride than with the welfare of his children. Though not yet subpoenaed to testify, everyone watched Robyn Brown. Seated next to Kody, her tears streaming down her face, her hands held tightly in her lap. To some, she appeared a loyal wife victimized by turmoil. To everyone else, she seemed guilty, an accessory to the choices that had precipitated the lawsuit. Social media went wild with speculation. Was Robyn the brains behind the financial decisions Christine had brought to light? Or was she just taking advantage of Kody's favoritism without realizing the harm it was doing? Either way, her silence was deafening. By the time testimony came to an end for the day, one thing was evident: the Browns were no longer a family. They were opposing factions at war. Christine and Isabel on one end, battling with proof and raw emotion. Kody and Robyn on the other, racing to defend their reputation and wealth. Janelle subtly stood with Christine, and Meri hung back, her next step uncertain. What started out as a lawsuit had grown into a public dissection of each wound, each lie, each crack in the Brown dynasty. And this was just the tip of the iceberg. Do you think Christine's proof will be sufficient to reveal Kody and Robyn, or will Kody get away with manipulating the case? Let me know your opinion. I'm going through all the comments. The time fans had been anticipating had finally come. Robyn Brown, Kody's favorite wife, took the stand. Cameras outside the courthouse caught the anxiety, Robyn white-knuckling her purse, her face pale but resolute. In court, her voice trembled initially, but she composed herself soon enough. Robyn claimed that she had no role to play in the lawsuit, no suspicion of financial improprieties, and that she was just a supportive wife who left business matters to her husband. But under cross-examination, fissures developed. Lawyers produced papers revealing several large transfers from the joint accounts of the family directly into accounts associated with Robyn's household. Robyn hesitated. She stammered. And although she protested her innocence, the courtroom was filled with murmurs. Had Robyn been the secret mastermind behind Kody's financial debacle? As Robyn departed the witness stand, reporters moved to report on the latest bombshell. Sealed documents had just been submitted and partially leaked to the press. The filings allegedly contained claims of tax imbalances, debt, and suspicious property deals. Fans on social media instantly called it Browngate, likening it to past reality TV show scandals. The filings purported that funds from family ventures, including Sister Wives-related income, could have been diverted to assist Kody and Robyn at the expense of others disproportionately. If true, this would affect the lawsuit only as just a starting point. It might trigger an IRS investigation and leave the door open for more legal action. For Isabel, it was vindication. For Christine, it was the ammunition she had been looking for. And for Kody and Robyn? It was a ticking time bomb. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more dramatic, Christine dropped the bombshell of the day. With frozen calm, she held up a paper fans never thought to see, a purported handwritten contract between Kody and Christine when they were still married. In it, Kody supposedly vowed to pay for certain of the children's medical expenses, including Isabel's surgery, in return for Christine's participation in a property exchange many years earlier. The courtroom fell silent. If this contract was real, it wasn't only about lied promises, it was about legal responsibility. Kody had supposedly signed off on his obligation, and now he was being faced with it in front of everyone. Christine's voice didn't tremble. "I've held on to this for years because I believed in family," she told him. "But I think my daughter is entitled to justice more than I am owed." Kody's silence. Gasps filled the courtroom. Kody's face reddened in anger. Robyn grasped his arm. "Christine?" She stood tall as a tower, the crowd waiting outside already calling her hero of the day. Cornered, embarrassed, and caught off guard, Kody lost it. His voice thundered through the courtroom as he accused Christine of lying, of tampering with evidence, of waging war on him with TLC cameras rolling. Security had to quiet the situation as Kody jabbed his finger in Christine's face, yelling that she was attempting to destroy him at all costs. The judge promptly banged down his gavel, telling Kody that the next incident would have him held in contempt. But the deed was done. To many onlookers, Kody appeared less a wronged father and more a man cracking under stress. By the evening, #JusticeForIsabel and #ChristineWins were trending on Twitter and TikTok. Fan sites went ablaze with arguments. For each fan who thought Kody's version of things, 10 others cited Christine's proof, Isabel's affidavit, and Robyn's questionable alibi as evidence that finally the truth was revealing itself. Even hardened cynics about Christine conceded she had played this meticulously, holding fire until the moment when her explosive revelation would have greatest effect. The court case was far from concluded. But one thing was beyond dispute: public opinion had turned against him, and Kody was losing control of the narrative he used to own. Do you think Christine's handwritten contract is genuine, or do you think Kody has a right to label it a forgery? Leave your response in the comments. This is the most dramatic turn of events of the case so far. Following Kody's dramatic outburst, the judge leaned forward, her voice biting and uncompromising. She reminded everyone that this was not a TLC soundstage, it was a courtroom. Any additional disruption, she threatened, would lead to contempt charges, fines, or jail time. Kody slumped back in his chair, seething obviously but remaining mute. For once, his voice was not the most thunderous in the room. The gavel had spoken, and power was once again realigned, away from self-styled patriarch, and towards the very system he had believed he could outsmart. Viewers murmured that it was the first time in years Kody had been held accountable for his actions in the moment, without the video editing wizardry of reality TV to temper the blow. Behind the legal theatrics, another war was being fought, this one within the corridors of TLC. Insiders from the network disclosed that executives were in complete damage control mode. The lawsuit, the depositions, the stunning documents. It was not mere scandal, it was risk. TLC had invested millions on the Sister Wives franchise, but if financial misconduct involving the show was what the suit revealed, the network itself might get swept up in the controversy. Producers were said to have weighed whether to broadcast the footage they had filmed in the courtroom, or put it on the shelf altogether to keep from getting caught up in litigation. Publicists rushed to craft statements distancing TLC from Kody's purported misbehavior. The rumors were getting louder. Was Sister Wives on the verge of its last season? Until now, the lawsuit had been presented as civil, a battle for money, accountability, and promises unfulfilled. But recent filings indicated something more sinister was brewing. Lawyers were dropping hints of fraudulent transfers, tax evasion, and even misstated income. If detectives chose to follow those leads, Kody's troubles would rapidly escalate from economic to criminal. For Christine and Isabel, this wasn't vindication, it was justice pushing its way forward. But for Robyn and Kody, it was a threat to existence. Jail was no longer a fanciful speculation. It was a likelihood. As the courtroom battle raged, members close to the Browns came forward. Old friends, distant relatives, and even former business partners suggested that the financial issues had been simmering for years. One reported that Kody frequently transferred money between accounts to keep up appearances, while another said Robyn always knew more than she let on about the family finances. These leaks merely added kindling to the fire, creating a picture of a home operated less like a family and more like a failing corporation. While the justice system moved at a snail's pace, internet fans had no hesitation rendering their own verdict. TikTok influencers analyzed every look on every face in the courtroom. Reddit forums picked apart Christine's bombshell document word by word. Surveys on fan sites revealed an astonishing outcome. More than 85% of the fans supported Christine and Isabel and found Kody and Robyn guilty in the court of public opinion. The Sister Wives empire was not only cracking. It was shattering, one headline at a time. Will TLC support Kody and Robyn, or sever all ties to preserve the Sister Wives brand? Leave your opinion below? This may determine if the show ends up or goes down. The day after the startling courtroom hearing, Christine did not shy away. She commanded the limelight. Being interviewed on national chit-chats, podcasts, and Instagram live streams, she portrayed herself as not a resentful ex-wife but as a defensive mom fighting for justice. With Isabel accompanying her, Christine projected strength, resilience, and truth. Clips of Christine's interviews went viral within hours. One particularly powerful moment came when she looked directly into the camera and said, "I left Kody to save my peace. Now I'm here to fight for my daughter's future." The applause was thunderous, not just in the studio, but across social media. Christine wasn't just winning legally, she was winning the cultural war. While Christine dominated the media spotlight, Meri and Janelle met in secret behind closed doors. For years their lives had been strained, even frosty. But the lawsuit compelled them to reevaluate. Both women had lived decades of broken vows and economic insecurity under Kody's governance. Now, with Isabel's case laying bare just how far the issues extended, they realized that they had far more in common than they ever imagined. An insider spilled that the two women were preparing their own legal papers, perhaps preparing to come on board in Isabel's case or file individual suits of their own. What was once a divided group of wives now resembled an emerging alliance. And for Kody, that was a worst-case nightmare. Kody, never one to roll over and play dead, attempted to mount his own media campaign. He gave interviews to sympathetic media, portraying himself as a misunderstood husband and father who was being unfairly attacked. But the plan went wrong in a big way. Footage of him minimizing Isabel's suffering, accusing Christine of being vindictive, and presenting himself as the victim was reviled. Headlines labeled his interviews tone-deaf and narcissistic. Even one late-night show host skewered him on network TV, joking, "Kody Brown claims to be the victim. Sir, you had 4 wives and lost 3, perhaps the problem isn't them." The audience was rude about it, and in abundance. In the meantime, TLC executives had to make a choice they couldn't avoid any longer. Choice 1. Put some distance between the network and Kody altogether, switching to spin-offs featuring Christine, Janelle, or even the new generation of Brown children. Option 2. Double down on the chaos, going full in on the lawsuit and family feud to generate record-breaking ratings, regardless of the moral cost. Insiders promised that office meetings at TLC headquarters became heated, with one side pushing to defend the brand and the other side pushing to monetize the scandal for maximum profit. For viewers, it was a haunting question: how much of the actual suffering of the Brown family was being sold for entertainment? As the narrative expanded, alliances within the family turned like quicksand. Some of Kody's older kids were said to have stopped answering his calls, publicly siding with Christine and Isabel. Others were silent, not wanting to take sides in such an open conflict. Robyn, however, held on tighter than ever, presenting herself as the sole wife standing alongside Kody. But even those sympathetic fans previously began wondering if her silence worked to her advantage, making her complicit. The drama had fully switched. Christine and Isabel were now the heroines, Kody and Robyn the villains, and Meri and Janelle the wildcards waiting in the wings. The setting was in place for an even greater explosion. Christine's momentum was unstoppable, Meri and Janelle were quietly plotting, and the storm of the courtroom had only just erupted. For Kody, each step forward was somehow pulling him 3 steps back. The empire he once created was crumbling brick by brick, and now, the rubble was being televised for the world to witness. The question wasn't whether the next bombshell would fall. It was when. If TLC needed to choose one individual to take the Sister Wives brand forward, Christine, Janelle, Meri, or even Isabel, who would you have it be? The courtroom was standing room only. Reporters occupied every seat, cameras covered the courthouse steps, and fans waited on the sidewalk with signs expressing their allegiance to Christine and Isabel. Tension inside was palpable. Isabel sat on either side of her mother, her expression serene but her fists balled up. Facing them, Kody and Robyn seemed drained, their faces somber. The judge came in, and the room grew quiet. The world had been waiting for this moment, and now it had finally come. The judge read slowly and deliberately, as if realizing the seriousness of each word. After months of testimony, piles of financial documents, and tearful witness statements, the verdict was unmistakable. Kody Brown was held responsible for financial neglect related to Isabel's $225,000 medical lawsuit. The order required restitution immediately, fines, and additional investigation into how family finances had been mishandled. Gasp-inducing shock echoed in the courtroom. Christine's eyes welled up with tears, while Isabel grasped her hand, finally relieved that justice was served. Kody's face went pale. Robyn whispered something to him, but he stared forward, frozen. The ruling didn't just strike financially, it shattered the carefully controlled narrative Kody had built for decades. For years, he portrayed himself as a devoted father, a spiritual leader, and the backbone of the Brown family. But now, official records showed recklessness, negligence, and disregard for his children's well-being. The man who had once insisted on loyalty now stood bare of credibility. Meri and Janelle looked at each other from the stands, the nod of silent confirmation that their fears had been justified all along. Major networks interrupted live programming with the news. Social media blew up, hashtags such as #JusticeForIsabel and #KodyExposed trending globally. Christine and Isabel became overnight icons of strength, while Kody's image fell to historic lows. Even his longtime supporters, who earlier had leaped to his defense, turned their backs in outrage. One popular tweet captured it all: he had 4 wives, 18 children, and still prioritized his pride over his family. Justice arrived late, but arrived it did. Within hours of the judgment, TLC issued a tactfully worded statement. They vowed to reassess the trajectory of the Sister Wives franchise, acknowledging strife in the family while dropping hints at future spin-offs highlighting Christine, Janelle, or even the kids. Behind the scenes, it was decided by executives whether Kody and Robyn should be on air at all. Some contended they were the new villains that audiences loved to despise. Others cautioned that the backlash could topple TLC's credibility. For the first time, the network publicly acknowledged, the Brown saga no longer belonged to Kody. As the courthouse cleared, Christine and Isabel emerged into blinding light. Reporters called out questions, cameras snapped, but Christine stopped, held up her daughter's hand, and smiled. It was more than a courtroom victory, it was a symbolic rebirth. For Isabel, it was a validation that her suffering was finally heard. For Christine, it was confirmation that her sacrifices had paid off. For fans, it was that the curtain had at last been drawn on Kody Brown's fantasy of control. Whatever, the one thing that was certain was that the Sister Wives saga was far from over. It was just changing. A new chapter, a chapter guided by strength, self-reliance, and honesty, had commenced. Do you believe TLC should exchange Kody as the face of Sister Wives and award Christine, Janelle, or even the kids a spin-off? Share your thoughts below.